Here we go, our square shag. So I'll start off cutting square through the top portion of the right side. So as I cut the right side, I'm standing on the opposite side's shoulder. So that helps me keep my balance and over direction in control best. So here I'm just combing the hair straight out 90 degrees. And again, I'm cutting in square. I'm cutting in square layers through the top. Okay, so now I'll go out and comb my next section. Now at this point, I'm over directing every single section on the right side to that exact same point. So here I'm starting to build up some length. Again, still cutting square through the top. Make sure as you cut the right side, you're standing on the opposite side shoulder. Make sure that you're combing the hair super clean from roots to your guideline. Super clean being the strands of hair that you comb are parallel and even to the teeth of your comb. Taking our next section, again, it's over directed to that exact same spot. So we're going concave, we're going from shorter to longer via this technique. And just as you're combing the hair, keep a super sharp eye as to your over direction, the cleanliness of your section. Okay, so jumping to the opposite side. So now as I cut the left side, I flip my body position. I'm standing on the right side shoulder, still combing the hair out square. Now here, as I comb the hair, I set my comb at 0 degrees because that's the shape that I'm actually cutting. And I like to make sure that my comb doesn't deviate its angle as I comb the hair from roots to guidelines. So I let my comb set in the angle. So watch 0 degree comb. My fingers follow my comb to the point of my guideline. And then from there, I just continue cutting in square. So again, also watch your stroke count. You really don't want to go and stroke the hair too many times per section. Ideally, in a perfect world, it would be like 1 to 2 times per area of that section that you're working on. And you also have to keep in mind that with long hair, for me, the greatest challenge is every millimeter that I comb that hair away from the scalp, my level of difficulty increases because of my tendency to over direct or elevate, or it's harder to comb the hair perfectly clean when I'm combing out like 1.5 feet as opposed to 2 or 3 inches. So just a keen awareness of your challenges will allow you to like rock out more efficient, more perfect cuts. So through the top portion, I'll be working with her natural parting. Her natural parting goes from left to right. So here I'm over directing every single section through the top to this exact same point. So I'll be building up a longer length through that right side. So when the hair falls naturally, everything's symmetrical and balanced. So taking the next section, over directing, just to right at that ridge of the head, like that first section on the left side, basically to that point, combing the hair super clean from roots to guideline. Okay, and at the parting again, notice the strong over direction. So with this over direction, again, I'm building length because I need to have that area at the parting somewhat longer than the other sides. So when the hair falls naturally, everything again is symmetrical and balanced. Okay, now working through the back, I'll separate these sections out. I'm combing the hair straight up, and I'm just connecting the shape by following my guideline. Again, make sure that you're combing the hair super clean from roots to the ends. Notice how clean those strands are. there's no curves or snags in the hair that I just combed. This is imperative. If you have curved strands or like you're combing off, those curved areas represent lengths that will surpass your guideline. And make sure you're standing in front of what you're cutting for the greatest amount of control, that you're combing the hair super clean, and make sure you're eye level to what you're working on. If you can't see all these important details throughout your haircut, then it's basically impossible for you to make calculation and adaptations of how to make your cut that much stronger. Because at every point in the head, there's always new details you have to take into consideration with each section. There's no section that's the same because the head's round. So we have to like take into consideration the contours of the head and fit that to our cut. So continue with the same technique. Do the back. Every section again is over directed to the same point of where everything connects. So the shape in the back is also concave. It goes from shorter in the top to longer in the back. So make sure again you're combing those hairs from roots super clean. Use a lot of tension if you need to. And just be aware of any like wicked cowlicks or anything like that, or any like oddities in the head shape, because you always have to take those into consideration. And for this last section at the nape, make sure you're combing the hair from nape to guideline, again, really clean, and cutting a 0-degree square line. Again, the right side is cut in the exact same manner. Pay attention to the angle of your shear as you're cutting your 0-degree line. You have a 0-degree guide, so just match up the tips of your shears to that 0-degree line and you'll be fine. Okay, so I finish her off with a paddle brush and just got it really smooth, straight with no artificial shape. So now that the hair is dry, I'll go back and I'll refine my shapes. I'll just point into the heaviness. I'm working in shadows and density. When I texture the hair, I want a consistent amount of weight. I want a nice distribution of that weight because as I'm texturizing, I'm removing weight. So now through the back, I'm just combing the hair straight up. I'm just chipping into my shape. Some areas I'll texturize heavier, some areas less, depending on what I have to work with. You can just over directing back, texturizing. The reason I over directed back so it would fall a bit softer, and to the back, the same technique. I'm just chipping in. I'm not removing weight. I'm just softening up my shape. When I texture the hair, I want to texture it to the point where you can comfortably comb the hair from roots to ends without any heavy snags. If I find a heavy snag, then I'll go and texturize that area a bit more, because that tells me that if there's a snag and it's not that comfortable to comb the hair, that it needs a bit more refining exactly at that spot. For the fringe area, I don't want to go in and cut in like a super heavy fringe. Since I want something that's kind of like busted up and like heavily textured and kind of rough, so I just go in and slide cut. I'm just working until everything falls naturally. I like to slide cut a bit, and I'm always lifting up and away, and I'm visually checking the hair once it falls at natural fall until I get it to the point where I'm satisfied. Okay, well there you have it, our square shag. Enjoy.